Okay. I have to say, got it.
Right. So, are you looking for some help with your health issues, but you're not even sure where to look or who to trust? Welcome to the Crack the Code podcast. And today I'm super excited to be talking to Esther Sarlo. Esther and her small but mighty team have created Mynd Myself. It's a trusted source for holistic and integrative health and information and connection to vetted, experienced, and outstanding practitioners. Mynd Myself's prime directive is to help you become your own best health advocate. We want you to feel safe, seen, heard, and supported as you navigate your health journey. As the cornerstone of this game-changing project, Esther is the catalyst for creating this beautiful space where healing connections, collaborations can emerge. As a voice for the body's role in healing and wholeness in the universe, Esther is an entrepreneur, facilitator, speaker, and writer who's passionately committed to making it easier for you to live and speak your most authentic life. So welcome, Esther.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Cora.
Yeah, me too. And I love this idea that you're doing because I know, especially in our age group, the middle age, we have a lot of different things going on. And, the regular doctor's medical service isn't necessarily the best place for us to be. You're definitely good for certain areas, but not for everything. So I love that you're putting this together.
Thank you. It's my pleasure and gift to the world.
Yeah. So maybe you can give us a little background on how this whole thing came to be.
Absolutely. I like to tell the story that it started about 15 years ago when I had, and I'll give a demonstration here, about 10 inches of blood clot in my arm from here to here on my right side. Thankfully, it wasn't on my left side, but that's another issue. And what I didn't realize what was happening because I was generally healthy. I exercised regularly. I drank lots of water. I ate good food. I had great sleep, etc. All the things that make you healthy. And when I went into emergency, and finally the next day they took me in to get an ultrasound, and they found this blood clot. They rushed me into the hospital, and I got surgery that day, a venoplasty, and they removed the clots. So essentially, Western medicine saved my life. And then after that 4 or 5 days in the hospital, they put me on warfarin, which is a blood thinner. And they also, by the way, use it to poison rats, but that's another conversation. And I was on warfarin for 6 months. And before I went on with the warfarin, and then after the warfarin 6 months, I asked the medical system, my doctors, etc. And I had a good doctor at the time, but I said, okay, so why did this happen? What are the root causes? And what can I do about this to prevent it in the future? Well, I'd already been doing all the things that they were going to recommend. And they said, no, we got nothing for you. So I had to do my own exploration down this path of holistic health and try out different practitioners and stumble around going, well, I don't even know what modalities or healthcare approaches are out there in the complementary health field. And there was no single trusted source. And 15 years ago, Google wasn't what it is today. But even now, there's so much information out there about how do you know who you can trust, and how do you not spend hours and hours and hours of time looking for the thing that you might be looking for. Mm-hmm. And so Mynd Myself, the vision for Mynd Myself is to provide a safe, clear, trusted source where you can go and explore over 70 different healthcare approaches and over 265 health issues just to get you started. And you can also find practitioners who can help you. And we're just getting started. And I know that there are going to be hundreds of practitioners one day. And I look forward to offering those practitioner services to women of the world. Men are welcome too. And people who identify as whatever they identify, everybody is welcome. But I've designed this particularly for women because, and this is the last thing I'll say about this right now, is women in their 40s and 50s and up have been forgotten, disregarded, or ignored. And I don't want to do that. So this is a safe place for women to come.
That's awesome. I know because we go through so many changes as women through our lives, with menopause, perimenopause, all of that stuff and our hormones. And nobody really knows the answers. It seems like, and so many women just write it off. I know on one of my recent podcasts, I had a lady that does the pelvic floor stuff, with the urinating. Like so many women just don't even go to the doctor because they've given up because they say there's nothing wrong with them. But there's so many other alternative methods we can use that we're just not even aware of. So maybe you can share what are some of the other common things women come to the website for?
Oh, well, we also have some live events where I interview 3 practitioners and we have a series of questions that we go through. And 3 practitioners from different perspectives. We've had naturopathic doctors, we've had traditional Chinese medicine doctors, registered holistic nutritionists, functional medicine doctor, etc. We've had a lot. And one of the things that people can see on the website is our first events were called "What the Hormone is Happening to Me," because that is huge.
Yeah.
What can I do about it? So we had 2 events because hormones are a huge issue that women come to the website for. Chronic pain and inflammation, sleep, digestive health, energy medicine. What is it? Demystifying all of that, because we hear about this and is it just this airy fairy fluffy? No, there's actual science, and we've linked all of our 70 different pages of information of different healthcare approaches to 4 different medical databases. So if you want to geek out on the science, you can do that too. So those are some of the issues. And the next one coming up in November will be about metabolism and weight management, because that's a huge one too. So the possibilities are endless. Those are just some of the issues that women come to the website for.
Oh, that's so cool. And I know it would be great, like you say, to have that one resource because Google is our friend for some things, but it's so overwhelming to go out there and start. I'm sure the doctors hate it in some ways because people must come in. Oh, I'm sure I have such and such because I just Googled it, and we can be our own doctor.
Right, absolutely. And the idea with Mind Myself and our tagline, as I have on my shirt here, is because you matter. And the whole idea is to help you, the listener, help me as the speaker here, Cora, you, to help us all become our own best health advocates and to seek other opinions and to look for information. And the website is not a diagnostic website. You can't plug in symptoms and go, okay, what do I have? That's another website that you could go to, and that's controversial too, but it has some great information as well. This is information for you to look at and go, oh, well, that's interesting. Now, who do I connect to help me with that?
Yeah, which is so great. And that's one of the things I've been talking about on my podcast, because I do an energy healing modality called the emotion code. And there's so many other options out there, and encouraging women, if you're not getting the answers that you want from your regular doctor, explore other ideas, because there are so many other options out there that the regular woman might not even be aware of. So we have to educate them about that.
Exactly. And boy, have I learned a lot doing the research for this website. I didn't really know what somatic experiencing was. And I've talked to you. I didn't know what emotion code was before. I know really what is Reiki?
Yeah.
What is energy medicine? And, beyond that, what's the difference between a registered holistic nutritionist and a dietitian? Well, there are some answers on the Mind Myself website. You get to look, you get to explore. And what are the weight management options available to me? I think we've got at least 30 different common ones that are available. Just a little summary to go, oh, okay, well, that interests me. I'd like to explore that a little bit more.
Oh, that's good to know, because I know, once you hit that sort of 40, 50, it's like your whole metabolism changes, and all of a sudden it's like weight comes on and you don't even know why. You seem like you're eating the same. Now you have to eat like a quarter of what you used to eat. Everything changes. So that's good to know. What other kinds of things? Is there, like you said, so you can go in there and search, you search by like sort of the issues that you have or what you're looking for, or doesn't matter?
We've tried to make the search bar we've gone to actually great lengths to make the search bar really available to search the whole website. So if you have a health issue, yes, I know that lots of people who come to the website for the first time go, okay, I think I have this. Do you have anything on that? And then you can search for that and it will bring you to whatever page that is or whatever information we have on there. Or you want to look up a healthcare approach. We also have pages. We've laid the website out in a way that I think is clear and clean and beautiful without a lot of scrolling generally.
Nice. Yeah.
And so if somebody just wants to say, oh, well, I want to look up SIBO, for instance. I think a small intestine bowel obstruction or something like that.
Mm.
And so they could enter SIBO and see what comes up. Or if they want to go, okay, what is traditional Chinese medicine? Or what is Ayurveda? They could just enter in the word Ayurveda or TCM and see what comes up. We have a podcast like you do, Cora.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of guests. We have over 50 episodes on the website. And we have lots of blogs, and we are continuing to expand our information and knowledge base all the time with practitioners' information and people's health stories too. So I'm looking for especially women, but it could be anybody, with really transformative health stories who've been helped with complementary or holistic or integrative health, because I know people are out there. So you can look for a blog, you could look for a podcast. We have additional resources. You could go to the healthcare approaches page, or you could go to the health issues page. And there's so much there. We also even have like the events pages I was talking about before, and you can see the recordings of past events. So there's lots and lots of ways to get around the site. We even have a blog called Getting Around the Site.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah, if it sounds like yours is very friendly, but not all websites are. People sometimes make it very confusing to navigate it around. But that sounds like an amazing resource for the women to come to, and it's free too. You said, right?
Yes, yes, it's free for women and men and people who identify as whatever they identify as, to come to the website and find information and connection to practitioners.
That's awesome. So what else should we know about it? What else can you tell us about Mind Myself? Where did you come up with that name, Mind Myself?
Oh, people ask me that all the time. Well, I was searching around for a name. My partner Bill and I were just brainstorming one day, and I've always been about body, mind, and spirit, and the integration of those. Because if we just live from here up, which I think in our North American Western society, we've been trained to think that this is where everything important is. And I don't believe that. I believe that our whole system, body, mind, and spirit, come together, and that our body is shouting at us so much of the time. And sometimes it's whispering and sometimes it's shouting, and it's like, pay attention to me, pay attention. And so another phrase that I often like to use is, our body is not just an inconvenient receptacle that we have to clothe and house and feed and water and provide shelter for. It's actually this amazing information system that goes along with our mind and our spirit. And so as we were brainstorming and coming up with names, I looked up mind, M-I-N-D, in the traditional spelling of the word, and I went, well, what if it was a little bit different? Because the focus is really on because you matter, or because I matter, is really what I want people to come to the website and go, yes, I matter. I am worth taking the time to do this. So Mind Myself was born out of that idea. And I just really love the MY. And the whole website is a direct address, speaking from us to you. So that's a little bit of the story. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And I love how you're talking about, listening to your body, because I think a lot of us ignore the signs that are going on. I know, one of my brother-in-laws passed away a few years ago. I know he had a health issue. He had cancer. He ignored it. He canceled some appointments that he probably should have gone to. And it's easy to get into that mode and just say, oh, I'm just getting older. It's a normal aches and pains, or my stomach doesn't feel right. I mean, we have to be, like you say, our advocate for ourselves, because nobody else is going to do it.
Absolutely. And as Mind Myself, we're not against Western medicine. I believe we need both, because you have a fracture, if you have an open gaping wound, if you need antibiotics, if you need surgery, those are really powerful and important things that Western medicine offers. And I also believe we need some of the traditional medicine that's been around for years and years and years, and that used to be part of our North American medical model, health model. And it
Yeah.
just was divorced about 100 years ago, very intentionally and clearly by certain industries, which we don't need to go into right now.
Mhm.
So I believe we need both, and to pay
Yeah.
attention and listen to our bodies and go, okay, is this the vein I need right now? Or is this, or do I need a combination of both?
Yeah. And start with your regular doctor. If they
Mhm.
can't come up with any answers for you, look for alternatives because there are so many out there that may be able to help you with exactly what you have going on. And I also love what you said earlier about having the stories because people love stories. And if
They
they can
do.
read some stories of what other people are going through, just to know that there's hope for whatever they're going through, that they can make that improvement, I think that would be really powerful to have on your website.
One of my recent podcast guests had a stroke. Her name is Maria, and I think it was at least 10 or 12 years ago now, but she had a stroke, and it took her a long time to get back to about 70%. And largely that was because of her family and forcing her to work on herself and her body and her actions. And she couldn't speak. She had to relearn how to walk and talk. And then she came across a modality called WildFit. And she went, well, I'm relatively healthy. I don't need to lose weight. And uh, but it kept calling her, and she went through this food system, and she gained probably another 20% back because she started eating from what they call a natural human diet, the natural human way of eating. And so she's changed her whole life around. Her being, she used to be a financial advisor before her stroke and was just getting her career going, and now she's a WellFit coach. So that's a brilliant story to listen to and go, wow, the food we eat
Mm,
can make so much difference in the way we live our whole lives and how healthy we are and how our organs are and our tendency toward dis-ease to ease.
yeah. Oh, I totally agree. And what's really interesting, I worked at a grocery store for a couple of years as a cashier. And I'm telling you, some people actually don't even buy food. They have a grocery cart full of stuff, like the groceries, but there's no nutritional value in any of it. So it's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. It,
we could we could have a whole
yeah.
conversation around food, and I've had a few of those with one of my practitioners, Sandra Lee, and she's been a massage therapist for 30 years, and she does biofields tuning and
Hmm.
human design work. Now, I know you've met Sandra.
Yeah.
We've had a number of conversations about food and the industry and how we've been marketed to, and how to look at things differently, like fats and sugars and salts and proteins and just what we've been sold versus what is really true nutrition.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. So let's just quickly go over as we're kind of winding down a little bit here. So if someone has a health issue, there's some kind of concern, now they can go to your website and search either by their whatever the challenges are going on, or maybe by what were the choices? They can search by the thing.
They can search by health issue and just get an introductory flavor of what something might be. You'd have to know the name. You could look for symptoms, but that's really not, we're just getting going. So maybe
Yeah.
one day we'll have that engine. You can look by healthcare approach, or you can search by the practitioners we have available and say, oh, okay, there's a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. There is a functional medicine person. There's a pharmacist who likes to get people off of pharmaceuticals. I'd like to talk to him,
Yeah. Yeah.
etc. So you can go by all those, or you can search by a topic of
Yeah.
whatever, and see if we've got a blog or a podcast or an article on that.
Okay. And it's mindmyself.com as the
Yeah,
website.
MYND myself.com.
Okay. And then you've got a couple things coming up this month. What have you got for workshops this month?
Absolutely. So this is September
September.
2023, in case people are watching this
Yeah.
later. And if you're watching it later, I'm sure you can find the recordings on the events page under community. But we have two fabulous events. One is called Digestive Health. It all starts here. And I love our tagline for it. The road to health is paved with good intestines.
Mm. Oh, awesome. Love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that is another one of our mindful health discussions with 3 practitioners. So we're going to talk about digestion and what that all means. And you can go and look at what we're talking about if you want to go to the landing page. And the other cool event is with Deb Sluice. She teaches people about vision boards. And we're going to do a mini Power Word vision board session on September 30th, which is a Saturday morning Pacific time, 10 o'clock for 90 minutes ish.
Yeah.
And she normally charges $100 US for those, and she's offering it to the Mind Myself community people for free.
Oh,
So I'm so excited about this. We each get our own little mini Power Word vision board, and she
nice.
takes us through the whole process. So those are the 2 events coming up September 2023.
Oh, those both sound amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure a lot of people out there will get some use out of that. And just as we're wrapping up, Esther, I think you might have a quote or something you want to share with us before we go.
I do. I looked up some quotes, and there are a couple that just triggered me, and I want to get them right. So I'm gonna bring my little paper here.
Yeah.
One is this by J.W. Lynn. You are so much stronger than you realize. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're not even you.
Mhm.
And the second one, final one, you matter. How you feel matters. What you say, do, and think matters. It all matters. And that's with Rochelle E. Goodrich. And we do all of this at Mind Myself because you matter.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing all of that, Esther. And for everyone listening, take that to heart. Check out Mind Myself. It's an amazing resource. And the workshops also sound amazing. Something different every month. We have so many things we're going through. And if you've got some stuff going on and you're not sure what it is, get to your doctor, check it out. If that's not the thing, go to Mind Myself. See what else you can find, because there are alternatives out there, and you just want to be your own advocate, because you know what? It's never too late.